There's an old saying when it comes to video that one of the most important aspects of a good video is good audio. In this video, we're going to take a look at one way you can make some serious improvements to your video's audio quality. For many family videographers and YouTube creators, their best camera option is their smartphone. Another old saying about video is that the best video camera is the one you have with you. For lots of us, that means we'll be using our smartphone. I'll bet you'd be surprised at the number of videos you've watched and liked that were recorded using a smartphone. As we get started, please click on the thumbs up button if you find this video helpful, and please subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel and click the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos. I've added a link to the CVM-WS50 in the description below. It's an affiliate link to Amazon, so I get a small commission on the sale without you paying any more than you would if you went directly to the product page. One of the best and least expensive ways to improve smartphone video is to use an external microphone of some type. The type you choose depends a lot on what kind of video you shoot. Before we get too deep into this product review, let's take a quick look at your primary options. First is a wired microphone connected to your smartphone. The big decision here is how long a wire you want to get. There are mics out there that have wires from about 3 feet up to 20 feet. Regardless of the length, the wired option limits how far you can get from the phone or the camera. That may or may not be a big deal depending on what you plan to shoot. The second choice is using what's often called a mini shotgun mic. These mics plug into the phone's 3.5mm socket. Shotgun mics work pretty well for dialogue if the speaker is less than about 3 feet from the mic. They also work well when capturing the ambient noise of a setting such as a crowd noise at an athletic event. However, when spoken dialogue is desired at a distance beyond 3 feet, the ambient sounds the mic picks up can make the dialogue sound distant or even muddy. I use a Comica CVM-WS50 mini shotgun mic to record activities at my radio-controlled airplane airport. It's great at picking up the sounds of the airplanes flying by. I'll include some clips from that mic in this review. Your third choice is using a wireless microphone, which gives you the advantage of a wired mic located near your mouth to capture clear dialogue while being able to move around without being limited by a cord. With these mics, the cord to the camera is a radio signal, not a hard wire. The downside to many wireless microphones is cost. Good ones can cost easily more than $400. This review is for the Comica CVM-WS50 wireless mic system. It attempts to break the price barrier to provide content creators a much less expensive solution to improving a video's audio while providing freedom of movement. So, let's get started. The Comica CVM-WS50 set comes in a couple of configurations. We'll be looking at the set that comes with the small tabletop tripod and phone clamp along with the transmitter, receiver, and lavalier mic. Other configurations include a Bluetooth-enabled handle with a lav mic and a set with a non-Bluetooth handle. There's also a wireless interview-style mic set. The CVM-WS50 uses the UHF frequency band to communicate between the transmitter and the receiver. For those techies watching, that frequency range is 520 to 526 megahertz. To avoid interference, the WS50 has 6 channels to choose from. Obviously, the transmitter and the receiver need to be on the same channel. The advertised range is 60 meters or just under 200 feet. We'll check that claim when we put the set to the test. So let's take a quick look at the pieces that come here with the Comica CVM-WS50 wireless microphone system. First, it comes in a really nice little case. The foam is cut out inside so you can have the pieces fit in these little cutouts to keep them nice and safe. It's not a very big case, and so it can fit easily into a suitcase or a knapsack or whatever you carry your kit around in. The main pieces of the kit include the receiver, which you have here, and the receiver has these two little tabs that fold back like that, and then the same thing on the top, they fold, and then this little screw will bring the bracket out to whatever size you need to fit your smartphone in. On the front is an on-off button and then a set button. When the receiver is on, the little light comes up and you can see what channel it is, and also within this little square LCD panel you can see that the mic is either on or on mute, and well as what the audio power is, kind of like a horizontal VU meter you might see, as well as the battery charge indicator. They're all little icons inside this LCD panel. The green light indicates the status. In this case, I don't have the receiver on, and so that's why it's flashing. It says, hey, I don't have anything that's sending me a signal. So it's a way to understand what's going on with the system. Now, on the top, there's a little wheel right here, and that wheel you can use to adjust the audio out of the receiver. And so if you have the ability to watch the a VU meter in your video recording app, you can adjust this accordingly. And you can also see it in the little indicator here on the front of the LCD panel. On this side, there is a micro USB port that can be used to charge this device, and an output, which is the wire where you're going to connect it to your smartphone on that side. So the wheel, the output, and the USB port are on that side. And another really handy feature that's marked with a headphone icon here is another 3.5mm jack that you can put some earbuds or a small headset into so that you can monitor the audio that's coming through the receiver. So that's a very nice feature if you're filming with an assistant. There are two 1/4x20 regular tripod size screw sockets here, one on the bottom and one on the top. With this one, with it all mounted up, you could mount a small LED light, for example, on the top, which makes this a pretty handy little tool. Now let's take a minute and look at the transmitter. Like the receiver, the transmitter has an on-off button and a set button that you can use to change the channels. It also has a very similar LCD panel that gives you some indicators, such as the battery charge of the transmitter here, and so forth. It also has a little green LED that shows the status. On this end is another charging port. It uses a micro USB and the input to the microphone. So the microphone wire that we'll look at here in just a second would plug in right here. And then it also comes with a handy little belt clip and a 1/4x20 plug here on the bottom. So the last of the big parts that come in the kit is this little tabletop tripod. You can set this down. It's got a 1/4x20 spike on it here that you can mount the receiver onto, and so if you're recording yourself, you can have this sitting in front of you. Push this little button here to change the angle of the little pivot ball right there, and then you can get yourself all framed up and then record yourself without the need of an assistant. The small parts that come with this kit, the important part, of course, is the wire that connects the receiver to your smartphone. It's labeled easily. The gray end is labeled smartphone. It's got the tip ring sleeve type plug here on this end. The black end is straight and it goes directly into the receiver itself. And so this little guy will connect your phone and the receiver. And because of the coil, it'll stretch a little bit while at the same time staying out of your way. Next, of course, is the microphone. It comes with a little foam wind cover on it. With these kind of mics, I just leave the foam on them all the time. So with a little bit of breeze, and there's no problem with ruining your audio with wind noise across the microphone. It has a tie clasp kind of alligator clip here to clip it to your shirt or your top, and then plenty of wire to make it down through your jacket or under your shirt out the bottom by your waist to connect to the transmitter side of this wireless microphone system. So this works pretty well. You'll hear it here in just a couple of seconds. And then last but not least, in the small parts is a furry little wind cover. These little furry guys are used when the wind is a lot stronger. The fact that these little hairs will slow down the wind and the volume over the microphone itself will allow you to record some pretty decent audio even when the wind is stronger than you might be able to with a foam wind cover, and certainly more than without a wind cover at all. So those are the major pieces that come with the system. This wireless mic will work with a variety of smartphones, including Samsung and iPhone. Due to the way the receiver mounts to the phone, your phone must have a camera lens that is on one end of the phone, either corner mounted like the iPhone or center mounted like the Samsung. Camera lenses more centrally located on the phone's back case will be covered by the receiver. If you have an iPhone without a 3.5mm socket, you can use the small adapter cable that came with the iPhone to make the connection. So let's take a look at how we want to put this thing together. At this point on the receiver side, we've got the little feet folded out right here and right here. And then on the back of the camera, or on the back of the smartphone, we're going to mount this so that it covers the back. It doesn't cover the lens. You know, an Apple phone would have its lens up here. This Android has its lens right here. And then I've got this setting right here. And then I made point to make sure that the connectors are here. Obviously, if they were on the other side, the wires would get in the way of the lens. So I've got this set on the back of the phone, and I'll just give this a couple of turns to mount it tightly so that I can still easily use my camera app and see what I'm shooting. And then I've got my receiver mounted to the back. Next step then is going to be to add the plugs. And so this goes, the gray end goes to the smartphone, so it's going to go right in here. The tip ring sleeve or black end is going to go into the receiver. That goes right here. And so at this point, it's all ready to use. We've got the receiver and everything all together. We've not blocked the lens, and we even have this little socket here that if we wanted to put a little LED light, we could put that here on the top. In the meantime, we can use the little tripod and just screw that on the bottom, which also has a 1/4-20 kind of plug on the bottom. And so we can put that on, and now we can just set this up. We can aim it at ourselves over there, change the direction a little bit of the angle by pushing in that button right here, and then we're ready to go. So here on the transmitter side, we've got the microphone plug that we're going to plug in probably after you've dropped it through your shirt or behind your jacket, and we've got it plugged in right there. We've got the green light on. It tells us that it's on, and it's set, this little LCD screen says that it's set on channel 4. So we'll do the same thing here with our receiver. We'll push the button, hold it a few seconds. It comes on. See if I can get it up there for you to see. And it also is showing channel 4, and they're both showing green, which means that the channels match and that there's reception going in. So if I speak into the microphone and then look at the little indicator here in this LCD panel, you can see the little bars come and go like you would see on a VU meter, showing that there is audio going through. And then of course, remember I had mentioned that on the bottom is a headphone jack that you can use to make sure that the audio is at the level that you want. And if not, you can adjust it using this little wheel indicator, or this little wheel control here at the top. So in this video clip, we're just using the smartphone by itself and the microphone. It's in a kind of a trade show environment, so high ceilings, quite a bit of noise in the room. So you get a chance to see how the microphone on your smartphone would pick up this with me just speaking to the microphone kind of from behind. So in this case, we're just using the phone mic. You can see as I step away, I fade out of the audio fairly soon. Here you can probably hear me. So in this shot, I'm using the Comica VS-08 mini shotgun mic in selfie mode. I've got it pointed to me. It's about 18 inches from my mouth. Again, in that same trade show kind of environment. In this case, I've got the mini shotgun, the VS-08, pointed forward, and I'm using the main smartphone camera. My voice is behind the microphone, so it's probably not as clear as it was in the last clip. Okay, in this clip, we've got the wireless mic on the Comica CVM-WS50. The microphone is just up by my shirt collar on the placket of my shirt. So you can tell kind of the difference between the spoken voice in a noisy room and the ambient noise, and maybe make a comparison to the ambient noise from the shotgun mic that we used a few seconds ago. So in this case, we're using the WS50 wireless. I'm a little bit further away from the camera, using an assistant to hold the camera for me. I'll do a walk around a little bit and give you a sense of what I mean by moving out of range. We're not going to come out nearly out of range in this particular setting, but if you like to demonstrate things or show things, then a wireless mic like this one might be exactly the kind of tool that you would need for your content creation. So in this clip, we're in a much quieter environment than we were on that trade show floor, to give you a sense of what the audio was like. I'm in a green belt outside my home, and there's houses around, just a little hint of a breeze, birds chirping, the usual outside kinds of noise, to give you a sense of what this is like. We're also going to do a bit of a range check right now, so let me move about 50 feet from the receiver and see what that audio sounds like. So I'm about 50 feet from the receiver, same place, nice day, just a hint of a breeze out here today, and get a chance to see what the audio sounds like at 50 feet. I'll go back to 100. Give you a chance to hear what the audio sounds like at this particular range. Move back to 175. I'm at about 175 feet from the camera now, and give you a chance to see what this sounds like at this particular range. And then I'll step back to 200 feet, which is a little bit beyond what the published range for the wireless mic is. So I'm about 200 feet away from the receiver at this point. So I'll just start walking back toward the camera and the receiver on the tripod, and you can get a sense of what the audio is. A little bit of a breeze out here walking into. I've got the foam wind cover on the lavalier mic. There's not really, I hope, not enough wind to need the furry wind cover that comes with the kit. I'm at about 100 feet here. Continuing to move forward. Have some birds chirping here in the neighborhood. It's a really nice day this first week in November. About 50 feet here. Continuing to move forward. Probably about 25 feet from the camera right now. So about 10 feet from the camera now, and so you've had a chance to hear the video as I went through that range of about 200 feet here to very short range. So in this clip, we're in kind of a hard room. The floor is tile, there's a rug under the table, the ceilings are high, and so you get a sense to see what the microphone does in this kind of an indoor setting. In rooms like this, a lot of times your brain filters out all the echoes and stuff that the microphone doesn't, and so you'll get a chance to see here through this recording what it sounds like in that kind of a room. A couple of things about the audio clips. The clips haven't been adjusted. You heard them just as they were recorded into the phone. Using even free audio editors like Audacity, you can import MP4 files and make adjustments to the audio, such as normalization and noise reduction. Again, these clips haven't been adjusted. The WS50 did a good job in the trade show environment. My voice was clear, and even in a really noisy environment, it wasn't overpowered by the room's ambient sound. In the quiet outside setting, the recording was clear, and some of the ambient sounds like the birds chirping came through, giving the audio a sense of place. The inside recording was pretty good considering the potential for echo in a hard space. I've used shotgun mics set close to the speaker in this same room, and the echoes captured in the recording were quite noticeable. They were much worse than the sound captured by the WS50. As this picture shows, you can also use the WS50 wireless mic with a digital recorder with a 3.5mm input, or a DSLR or mirrorless camera with a 3.5mm socket. I noticed that the cable that connects the WS50 to a smartphone has a TRS or tip ring sleeve connection on the end that plugs into the receiver, and a TRRS or tip ring sleeve plug on the side that plugs into the smartphone. I had a short cable with TRS plugs on both ends and found that using that cable allows me to record with the WS50 using my Tascam digital recorder and my Nikon DSLR. That opens up even greater flexibility when using this wireless microphone system. All in all, I'm really impressed with this reasonably priced wireless microphone system. As I expected, I got a little audio dropout at the extreme end of the published range. In the space under 100 feet from the receiver, the signal was strong and I didn't notice any dropout in my tests. With the transmitter in my pocket and facing away from the receiver, I did notice some dropout when positioned just beyond the 100-foot range. I decided that keeping the transmitter on my belt was the best choice to maximize range. If you've decided that you need a wireless mic to take your videos to the next level, the Comica CVM-WS50 is a great choice. Hey, if you found this video helpful, please click on the thumbs up icon below the video and consider subscribing to the Gadget Talk channel. Click on the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos. Thanks for watching.